good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ducky. I'm going to be talking about how this next Call of Duty, whether you like it or not, will be the most important Call of Duty looking towards the future of all titles in the series. Now, with the recent acquisition of Microsoft buying out Activision for $69 billion, we can only truly hope that there is some good in this action, but like all other things, there might be just a simple scheme to go ahead and buy out the competition and enable Microsoft to continue to print money like it has never before. With the acquisition, we could hope that Microsoft sees what is being reported on through numerous articles and leaks confirming that yes, indeed, this next Modern Warfare 3 was planned at one point or another as a full-on DLC for the current title of Modern Warfare 2 2022, as just that, an expansion on both the campaign, the multiplayer aspect, as well as hinting at a more option, which is obviously in reference to the zombie mode. So for anyone that still needs some convincing, we're going to go ahead and go through the power of the internet, find these supposed leaks that confirm that yes, indeed, this next Call of Duty was always planned to be an expansion rather than a standalone game. Now, with the internet, you'll be able to see a whole host of articles exposing the truth as to this DLC now being marketed as a standalone game, but with anything, there's going to be a debate, and there are several articles here, although not as numerous as the ones that are telling the truth and exposing the truth, some that give into the corporate marketing side of this being a standalone game that was always planned on being a standalone game, written by people that may or may not be medically inclined to wear helmets at all times.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent like me?
Now, for any smooth brains out there that don't want to do their own research, you can even go to the laziest source of news and updates, which is Wikipedia, and see that if you go and scroll down to the development tab, that they've already confirmed and updated the fact that yes, there was a DLC planned for the Modern Warfare 2 series, and instead is being rebranded and remarketed as a standalone Modern Warfare 3. Now, if you choose to go ahead and continue to read through several reports, you'll see a pattern emerge, which is a reference to Charlie Intel leaking out all this information. Now, if you go ahead and search on the internet for Charlie Intel has multiple snippets here on his profile, and you can go ahead and read through all of them if you really want to. There's the links in the description to everything that I'm making reference to here. This first one here that reads, the expansion was planned to be big with the single player campaign and several multiplayer maps, and eventually it morphed into a full game release. Sledgehammer's new Modern Warfare game, the name is still unclear but will probably not be Modern Warfare 3, is now slated for this fall. The people said, declining to be named because they weren't authorized to speak to the press. Activision spokesperson Neil Wood noted the company has announced that a premium Call of Duty game will arrive this year, and that they had nothing to share, which is rich because obviously the new Call of Duty is coming out. It is not probably, but confirmed to be Modern Warfare 3, and there is definitely nothing new to share about this game, other than the fact that they will be introducing a first for the series of Modern Warfare games with the introduction of Zombies mode, which will deviate from the round-based games that we are familiar with, the Black Ops series, the Cold War game, as well as the World War II games, and instead deviate to a DMZ survival type version. The second snippet of importance here reads as an elaboration on the first. Now, in support of the fact that this is a DLC, you don't have to look very far with the release of 2019's remastering of Modern Warfare 2, in that when it hit the market, it only was ever released with the campaign portion of the game. Now, I doubt that even in their eternal greed that Activision would ever task a team of developers to develop just the campaign portion of their most iconic game. Now, this is in support of the theory that they of course backpocketed the multiplayer aspect of this game, especially given the fact that the dev team worked on this game for so long, and when you go to YouTube to look up compare and contrast of the original Modern Warfare 2 and the new remaster of 2019, there aren't many positives in the way of anything groundbreaking of the remaster. Sure, there's a bunch of scripted AI improvements and overall shadow quality of people's faces, but other than that, there isn't too much in the way of the remaster itself, and that is probably because the vast majority of the dev team was tasked with remastering the multiplayer aspect, being one of the most iconic multiplayer experiences of all time. Now I say this because this is the introduction of the send-off that would become the Call of Duty community online, with the introduction of FaZe Clan and several other teams being directly inspired by the MLG 360 videos that would circulate the game space of the time. This would rise to a multitude of children coming to the conclusion that there was a possibility of making a career out of playing video games all day, myself included. Now, if you're still convinced that it is a good idea to buy the next Modern Warfare 3 game and you can't be swayed, let me hit you with one simple fact. Because this was a DLC rather than a standalone game, that means that when you make a DLC, you're taking the same source code and developer tools in one game and modifying them to support the new wave of content. Now, because they're doing that and effectively copying and pasting the exact same code, you're going to have the same codes that already are breaking the game in the ways of hack menus and exploits transfer over to the new game and immediately take effect of the multiplayer aspect, as well as your Warzone when that comes out, and DMZ and Zombies modes. Now, if that doesn't strike you as something that is going to be a huge problem, let me remind you, there's already articles referring to hackers being a problem in the closed betas of the PlayStation 5 pre-order exclusive lobbies and the Xbox pre-order exclusive lobbies. And with this being a copy and paste, there is no time or no buffer between having the hackers try and decode the programs to try and find the new way of the new developer, because it is again a copy and paste of the source code. So there's not going to be any waiting time before you getting into lobbies where you are having to come up against hackers in your lobbies immediately. I hope with everything being said in this video that you're able to understand that pre-ordering this next Call of Duty is the worst thing that you can do for the Call of Duty franchise to continue, with a signal to the corporate side of the world showing the bare minimum innovations and new content needing to be put out for a new title to be claimed. Now, I also hope that you're able to share this video with anyone that hasn't already stopped their pre-orders or refunded their money, as we really should protest in support of having a better standard of video games out there. Now, hopefully with Activision being bought out by Microsoft will be able to backpedal the decisions of the corporate side of Activision and go ahead and give us Modern Warfare 3 as a DLC into Modern Warfare 2 rather than a standalone game. I'm really hoping that they take the Modern Warfare 3 title and actually make an expansive, meaningful impact with it, rather than a cheap gimmick of remastered content that should have been a DLC. I really don't think that that is what you should be doing in celebration of both the 20th anniversary come 29th of October, as well as the new era of Microsoft Activision games.